Hello everybody and welcome back to another Leagues release. We've got our third day in a row and we've got all the information we need about Echo bosses. Not only do we have their stats, but we even have a 16-minute video to get through. So if you're ready for the Leagues updates and the breakdown, let's do it. In typical React fashion, I'm going to be stopping every time I think that there's something to talk about.
November the 27th marks a very special day, the launch of Leagues 5 Raging Echoes. I'm Scritic and I make a lot of Leagues related content, but today Jagex have entrusted me to deliver some really exciting news about this upcoming league. If you've been living under a rock for the last 4 years, you might not know what a league is, so let me quickly explain.
We've also explained exactly what a league is this time around, so if you do want to check out that video, it's in the very beginning of the Leagues playlist for Raging Echoes.
Raging Echoes League is a temporary game mode spanning 8 weeks with boosted XP rates, drop rates, and passive buffs. Everyone will be playing under Iron Man game rules, but with a twist. You start locked only to Mistlin and Karamja, and have the ability to unlock 3
I'm already stopping because look at these little portals. I'm just going to imagine that these portals are probably the way that we teleport between regions without having the initial ability to do so in the first place. Even a little portal up here, it looks like.
further regions, including the new region of vmore this time. How do you unlock regions exactly? Well, I'm glad you asked. League tasks are the name of the game,
And we should absolutely look over all of these league tasks here. We also see this symbol more and more often. I'm wondering if it's the Echo symbol for leagues or if there's actually an Echo Mask relic. But when it comes to defeat a Moss Giant, defeat a Goblin, defeat a Guard, restore 5 prayer points, use superhuman and improved reflexes, and bury some bones, I believe all of these were tasks last time. And take a look at the area. We're global, so this is for every single area that they have.
range from defeating that first poor goblin you come across, to chopping your first tree, all the way up to end game raids. Trust me when I say that the dopamine of ticking off task after task and seeing that pop up never gets old. And you'll be able to unlock your first, second, and third regions by completing a certain number of tasks. And that's not all, because completing league tasks also rewards you with league points, and these are important. Upon reaching certain league point thresholds, you'll be able to unlock relics. These are powerful, permanent buffs to your character that alter a gameplay style of your choice. Want to instantly process and bank items you gather? No problem. Have you got an excess amount of
So again, referencing league points, we still don't know how many we're going to need for our individual trophies.
GP and want to use that to train prayer? It's possible. I think you get the picture. So let me tell you all why I'm really here today. In line with the titular theme of Leagues 5, Echo bosses are a new feature. These are powerful variants of existing bosses with beefed up hit points and added mechanics for a fresh challenge. More importantly though, they drop new, never before seen items. There's one Echo boss per region, excluding the starting regions of Mistlin and Karamja, so
Oh man, that's disappointing. Mistlin and Karamja absolutely need those. And we definitely need to stop looking at these like the starting areas. We gotta buff them to be a real reasonable area on their own. Maybe with like Tribeard gear or possibly with some sort of buff that could apply to any other region.
So don't panic, you won't have to deal with Jad spawning a set of more Jads that spawn a set of more Jads that you get the idea. To access an Echo boss, you'll need to beat the regular version of that boss. And in doing so, there's a chance that that boss will drop an Echo orb. These are region specific and can be used to permanently access the Echo version of that region's boss. Now, I'm not going to spoil what each one of these new challenges have in store for you, but let me take you on a grand tour around Gelinor for a sneak peek at the new exciting drops from these Echo bosses.
Okay, so that kind of means that we aren't going to see really any of their mechanics that are new for these bosses. Shame.
Oh, and if you happen to have planned any of your league's region choices ahead of now, then get ready to have those plans turned upside down and your mind truly blown. Because
That's not me. I wouldn't have been planning this since last year. No, not me at all.
this is going to change everything. Alright, the first stop on our tour is the Caridian Desert. Just southwest of the Shanty Pass and deep underground is the Cowfight Lair. The Cowfight Queen resides in the depths and will award any challengers who can defeat its Echo variant with a chance to obtain a powerful ranged weapon befitting of the desert's characteristics, the Gore Blowpipe. Just like its toxic variant, the Gore Blowpipe uses darts for ammunition, which are conveniently unlocked for fletching after completing the Tourist Trap quest. The Gore Blowpipe is incredibly fast and accurate, working like a ranged version of the Osmundan's Fang. Its built-in passive rolls for accuracy twice before taking the highest result, all while attacking at a lightning 2-tick attack speed. I can think of some keen desert enthusiasts who will be very happy with a strong ranged option that will...
That is insane. Having the desert directly competing with Turanwin, and basically the one of the only things that was good about Turanwin is now no longer exclusive. Oh man, the elves are gonna be hurting from this one.
Of some keen desert enthusiasts who will be very happy with a strong ranged option that will make light work of most of the desert denizens. Next, we're headed to the region of Asgarnia, and for this one, we're gonna need 91 Slayer and a Hellhound Slayer task.
Alright, we already know that that's Cerberus, but man, even in leagues, 91 Slayer is still a slog. I'm not gonna want to grind that out, at least not immediately, to get my best in slot for the area.
Because we're headed deep into the Tavali dungeon to find everyone's favorite hell puppy, Cerberus. If you're lucky enough to obtain the Asgarnia Echo Orb,
I do definitely want to take a second to say, man, these variants look cool, and I would love to see awakened versions of the Echo bosses in the real game. Probably won't end up getting the drops that they drop from the Echo bosses, but hey, you know, we can wish.
You'll no longer need a Slayer task to fight the Echo variant of Cerberus.
So you're gonna make me grind out 91 Slayer and then I don't even need it? Alright.
Cerberus. Now, have you ever wondered what it would be like if you could forge all of the God Swords into one? Well, Echo Cerberus makes that a reality, as it'll have a chance to drop the Dog Sword. Whoever came up with that name is a genius. For 50% of your special attack energy, the Dog Sword will hit a target and apply every single God Sword effect. Freezing, healing, reducing defenses, increased accuracy, and even more damage. The Dog Sword does it all. And who knows, if you're lucky enough to pair this with a relic that enhances your special attacks, this has some insane...
Oh, okay. So he just mentioned relics that actually do affect your attack and defense, like your special attack. So a lot of people were worried that the relics were just going to be skilling based, because we do have a combat mastery system, and we don't know what that's going to look like yet. So at the very least, we're not going to rely entirely on the combat mastery system. So that's good news. And man, oh man, is that Dog Sword going to be brutal. Literally, the longer you're in a fight, the more detrimental it is to your enemy.
Potential. Let me talk to you guys about the wilderness. It's sprawling with bosses, all suitable candidates for an Echo variant, but there is one boss here that has stood the test of time, and you can find it just west of the lava maze. The King
KBD.
Black Dragon. There aren't any requirements to access this boss, so grab your anti-dragonfire shields, because this Echo variant can drop not one, but 2 Echo items.
And I do want to say that this will probably be the easiest of the Echo bosses to unlock, because KBD in 2024 is not looking good. You could tear him up with 2007's gear.
The Thunder Kopesh and the Thousand Dragon Ward. The Thunder Kopesh is a powerful sickle-shaped slashing sword, imbued with the power of thunder and lightning. It
totally looks like this. Looks like it should have been a part of the desert design. I wonder what happened there.
Attacking with the Thunder Kopesh, you'll have a 20% chance to summon a lightning bolt. This deals area of effect damage in a 3x3 area around your target, especially useful for getting through groups of monsters quickly. The Kopesh's special attack takes this effect one step further, and for 50% of your special attack energy, you'll quickly attack twice. If either of those hits are successful, an additional lightning bolt is summoned for up to 100% of the original attack's.
That's nuts. Okay, so this is basically the Void Waker, but an AoE version. You're gonna have so much more magic damage crashing down on your opponents.
Max hit. This weapon is insanely strong and even does full damage against the corporeal beast. But before I get carried away, let me tell you guys about the Thousand Dragon Ward. Strong attack bonuses with more melee strength than a defender, and some beefy defensive bonuses to round it off. But what really makes the Thousand Dragon Ward special is its passive effect. While wielding the Thousand Dragon Ward, you will be immune to pretty much all negative status effects. Dragon Fire, Desert Heat, Poison, Venom, and many, many more. These two items combined are making the wilderness look extremely promising this year.
Alright, so I'm usually a wilderness hater when it comes to leagues because there's so many downsides. But nothing has changed. I don't think I would necessarily pick these, but those weapons are really, really cool. And I do really wish I could have the shield.
LD good. Next, we're headed into Mauritania. And I hope you all remembered that I asked you to get 75 Slayer and a Gargoyle task for this one, because we'll need a Brittle Key for where we're going. On the roof of the Slayer Tower are the Grotesque Guardians. If you can get a hold of the Mauritania Echo Orb, you won't need a Slayer task to access this Echo variant. And if you're good enough to come out on top, there's a chance you'll be able to bag yourself the Gloves of the Damned. As far as their stats go, they're just as strong as Barrow's gloves, which is very fitting for its extremely powerful passive effect. While equipped, the Gloves of the Damned double the effectiveness of all Barrow set effects and additional set effects provided when wearing an Amulet of the Damned. And luckily for us, the gloves act as if you have an Amulet of the Damned equipped, meaning every set of Barrows gets turned into an absolute powerhouse with these gloves. Arim's set gains a 50% chance of combat spells dealing 60% more damage. The Carol set becomes a machine gun with a 50% chance to hit a target twice. And the infamous Darok set is going to be capable of dealing up to 194% bonus damage when at 1 HP. So
that is nuts. And another great benefit that they didn't mention about the gargoyles is there's 2 drops when you kill, both gargoyles. So this might actually be the easiest Echo equipment for you to get.
Grab your spades and get digging. The Femic region is our next stop, and while there aren't any requirements to get to our destination, you'll want to be prepared with at least some overhead prayers and a pet rock. Or, a friend. That'll work. On the 6th level of the Waterbirth Island dungeon are the Dagonoth Kings. Each of the Dagonoth Kings uses a different attack style.
Okay, another master level fight. It's likely because of the 3 of them at the same time, and I wonder if you're still able to get away with safe spotting Rex. Could you get the Echo Rex drop from essentially no effort?
So this won't be an easy challenge, but by defeating the Echo variants, you'll have a chance to get the 2 best pieces of jewelry that Leagues 5 has to offer: the Amulet of the Monarchs and the Emperor Ring. Both of these pieces of jewelry provide incredible stat bonuses: attack, defense, prayer bonus, melee and range strength, and of course a huge amount of magic damage as well. These 2 items really are a jack of all trades and make Femic the perfect support region to pair with whatever else you're cooking up. Now, who laughed at me when I said Femic was going to be S tier this year? Yeah, I thought so.
I don't know if Femic is considered S tier here, buddy, but it does seem like it's going to be the easiest to be able to get the Echo drop. You have 3 separate chances from one of the Dagonoth Kings to get that drop. And if they still respawn in like a minute, which feels like 21 years, you're probably going to be able to kill them all separately anyway, so it won't really be a master fight.
The Kingdom of Kandarin. This place has historically been known as an especially strong region for magic users, and that's not about to change anytime soon. Just southwest of Castle Wars is the Smoke Devil Dungeon, and you'll be able to take on the thermonuclear Smoke Devil here once you have 93 Slayer and a Smoke Devil task.
Ooh, that's steep. That is an amazing picture of it though, but that's a steep requirement. There is one good thing though, is you were going to be grinding this out anyway for your occult necklace.
But just like the other Slayer bosses, the Echo variant does not require you to have a Slayer task once you obtain the Kandarin Orb. This Echo variant of Thermi has a chance to drop an offhand item that allows you to tune into the elements of the world and exploit weaknesses like never before. The Devil's Element. This neat little incense burning looking thing provides some generous magic accuracy, a 6% magic damage boost, and some prayer bonus on top. But the real magic behind the Devil's Element is its passive ability to harness the power of the elements. While equipped, the Devil's Element counts as any elemental rune, and it will allow you to double the effectiveness of any elemental weaknesses exploited. There are a ton of fun bosses across Gelinor with an elemental weakness which are going to be even more prominent with this item, and may even open some different strategies for you to try. In the previous league, the Tummakan Shadow was everyone's favorite magic item, but this will definitely close the gap for other elemental staffs like the Nightmare Staff to stand at the very top alongside it.
I'm not 100% sure if all of those magic weapons are going to be able to compete with the Shadow, but this is an amazing argument for those who doubted the elemental weaknesses. There's just so much more that we can do with these options, and I love it. I almost want to pick it just because of the elemental abilities.
A little further to the west is the beautiful green area of Taranwin. Okay, maybe it's not all beautiful, and for this region's Echo variant, you'll be taking a trip into the heart of Prifddinas to take on the Gauntlet. If you're up for the challenge, you'll need to tackle the Corrupted Gauntlet for a chance at the Taranwin Echo Orb, which, once obtained, allows you to instantly skip the Gauntlet's preparation phase, as should you choose to fight the Echo variant, you'll be geared with a generous Gauntlet setup. This allows you to jump straight into the action with the Echo variant of the Hunlith. If you're lucky while fighting this Echo boss, you'll be able to get your hands on the Crystal Blessing. In addition to providing a big boost to prayer bonus, the Crystal Blessing harnesses the power of the Crystal Armor, allowing its accuracy and damage bonuses to be applied to all melee weapons while equipped. For those who aren't all familiar with this gear, a full set of Crystal Armor will give you a combined 30% accuracy and 15% damage bonus. I can definitely think of a few weapons I'd like to try this out with, but I'll leave the experimenting up to you guys.
So an entire armor set and your trinket slot is taken up, and it really just gives you a minor boost to your melee stats. Taranwin is looking worse and worse every single year. You can't even get the exclusivity of the blowpipe anymore. Oh man, they gotta come up with a serious update for the elves, or else there's not gonna be any hope for them.
What do you think would pair well with this? Across the sea is the Kingdom of Great Korend. This massive landscape has a lot of great content to get stuck into, but for this next Echo variant, we'll be traveling to the Farming Guild. At level 65 farming, you'll be able to enter the intermediate tier of the Farming Guild.
But why?
And after planting and watching your Hispori seed grow into a giant angry plant, you'll be able to fight it, and defeating it will guarantee you the Korend Echo Orb. Obtaining this will allow you to fight Echo Hispori whenever you want, not requiring you to wait for a seed to grow.
Even
Befitting a piece of living nature, the Echo version of Hispori has a chance to drop the Nature's Reprisal, a tri-brid weapon capable of using all three combat styles. And what I love about this weapon the most is that even the melee option is a projectile, allowing you to slap on your best suit of armor and attack with melee from a distance. Now, You will need to charge Nature's Reprisal with 1 Nature Rune and 5 Earth Runes per charge, but you'll be rewarded with its incredibly versatile stats. These are absolutely no joke, and I'm expecting total chaos from.
That looks pretty crazy, and this kind of says if you don't really want to do any strategizing, just pick Kurend. You'll be able to get your tri-beard weapon and essentially take you through the rest of leagues with it.
From this item. Grab your tree trunks, we're going to the Chambers of Xeric with this one. The final stop on our tour today takes us to the Shining Kingdom of Vmore, the newest region in Leagues 5 with so many fun pieces of content to try out if you haven't already managed.
And I'm going to go ahead and take a bet right here. I think this is going to be the most picked region. Not because of the countless benefits that it has, because it's the newest.
To do so. If you've been here before, then you'll know where I'm stood right now. The Fortis Colosseum, one of old school RuneScape's toughest challenges, and who better to test your league prowess than an echo version of Sol Heredit himself.
Damn.
Now, you'll be glad to know that this works a little differently to the other bosses, and that by beating all of the Colosseum waves and Sol Heredit, you will guarantee yourself the Vmore Echo Orb drop. This will allow you to skip the
guaranteed, just like it's guaranteed for Herspori.
Colosseum waves to take on the Echo variant of Sol whenever you want. This fight will take you to your absolute limits.
And the one and only Grandmaster fight. So, for those challengers that are looking for the hardest challenges in RuneScape, you have to pick Vmore.
If you have what it takes to defeat Echo Sol, then you will have earned a chance to take the Titan's items for yourself. Introducing the Sunlight Spear and the Sunlit Bracers. The Sunlight Spear is a two-handed weapon, boasting some generous defensive stats and an insane amount of melee strength for those big numbers we all know and love. But there is so much more to this weapon. Attacking with the Sunlight Spear grants you a stack of sunlight, up to a maximum of 20 stacks. And this is where the weapon's special attack comes in. Using the special attack will consume 7 sunlight stacks, releasing the built-up energy and hitting every target around you within a 3-tile radius. What's even more impressive about this special attack is that the damage is increased per point of prayer bonus that you have. Good job, the Colosseum might just give you something to help with boosting that.
So something about that here is it feels like that could just be in the main game, and it might just be. They might nerf it a little bit, especially when it comes to the prayer score, but that doesn't seem like an echo weapon. That's not a, oh wow, I can do this now type of thing.
The Sunlight Bracers provide powerful utility through their strong stats, but more importantly, their passive ability, which increases all healing you receive by 100%. Sharks go from healing 20 to 40, and just one Ceradamin brew can heal as much as 128 hit points. And there are a ton of other ways to heal in old school RuneScape, making this item incredibly versatile no matter what regions you're thinking of going for.
That is actually really cool. I like the bracers way more than I like the trident.
I think it's safe to say that Vmore is shaping up to be an incredibly exciting new region to this league. And
I agree. And believe it or not though, that was the end of the league's update video that they released. But we do still have just a little bit more available. Alright everybody, so starting from the beginning, we've got a picture of the Echo boss and what they drop. Unfortunately, it's not their stats. That would have been way more helpful. But the Dog Sword comes from Cerberus. The Desert Calphite Queen is going to be giving you the Dry Gore Blowpipe. Morania is going to give you the Grotesque Guardians, and don't forget that you have 2 chances, one from each Guardian. KBD has 2 drops, so it's a little bit harder to get the drops in this area, but KBD has no requirements and it's pretty easy to kill. Kandarin's got the Thermonuclear Smoke Devil, and it gives you the Devil's Element, an absolute massive buff to magic gear. Not only that, we're going to be getting the Femic Dagonoth Kings. This is how you're going to get your Amulet of the Monarch and Emperor's Ring. It's essentially combining all of the best in SOT jewelry together. And it's going to be the easiest to receive these drops because you have 3 chances of the drop as well. And then that brings us to Turanwin with the Hunlith. We have an Echo variant of the Hunlith where you'll be able to skip preparation time, but really all you're going to be able to get is the Crystal's Blessing. And it does not do much, just gives you a little prayer bonus and a buff to your crystal armor. I've said it a few times, but I'll say it again. It looks like this one's a clear loser out of the Echoes. But somehow we have a Karend Hispori Echo variant. Let's just be honest, nobody thought it was going to be Hispori, but it's hilarious that it is. And it even gives you a Tribrid weapon, which you really won't have to mess with any of the other mechanics if you just want to take it easy and go for that one. And then we have the hardest boss in RuneScape. And we've made it even harder with the Soul Heredit in Varlamore. You have a chance to get the Sunlight Spear and Sunlit Bracers, and unfortunately the spear doesn't seem like it's that crazy, but the bracers are super helpful. You will unfortunately though have to take on the hardest challenge in RuneScape over and over again for these items. But that's my take on our Echo Boss variants. What do you guys think about today's update? And make sure to stay tuned for the rest of our League's releases. I've been Dirty Bob, and I'll see you all later.